Great day, family. Time out with Tony and Odessa taking the TO with T and O. We gotta come up with like a jingle or something like.
Yeah, help us come up with a jingle.
Yeah, how can we come up with something like to start this thing off with?
We're not doing that. We're not doing
I'm not really feeling that great. My eyes a little, but we gotta keep going. And I really didn't want to do no Marriage Monday podcast because we had a little.
He didn't want to. He wasn't enjoying his marriage.
No, it's not that. We just had a little. It's the holidays, and this is the first holiday with us being without our beloved Tayana, Odessa's sister, passed away in March, and this was the first holiday, Thanksgiving, that we had without her. And so, like, before the week kind of already started, I can tell that it was going to be a test.
And, wait, how did you know? What do you mean? How did you know that?
I think because after our plans shifted, and there was a kind of a conversation about, okay, we won't be able to take the RV to the Cowboy Stadium because it's going to be raining.
So our plans were to tailgate at the Cowboy Giants game on Thanksgiving, and the rain said no. So I was just already bummed. The whole point of us wanting to do the tailgating was because we just wanted to do something different, being that this was the first year without our sister. And so, because every year, if we didn't spend any other holiday together, we always spend Thanksgiving together. And so, we just wanted to do something different because we would have been in the kitchen like, oh, she's supposed to be cooking the greens and, all of that. So, when our plans got crushed, when our plans got changed from being at the Cowboy Stadium because of the weather, it kind of put me like in a, because then I was like mentally preparing not only to host everybody at our house, but host everybody and have all the memories flood. And so
so we wanted to do something totally different, but when the plans started to shift, I can tell me and Odessa start to do this, and I noticed that I start to do that when I start to feel any type of rejection or any type of pushback. And so I'm high connective person. Like, I need connection. I need like love and touch and conversation. And we started doing that. And we hosted everyone. They couldn't tell anything was going on with us. But I realized afterwards, after we had the conversation, and so we got to communicate. So I told Odessa after Tuesday, when everybody was gone, this week, that I realized that I should have noticed that I needed to give grace for the grief. So that's the point. That's this episode is called Grace for the Grief. For those that are going through any type of situation or that are grieving, the spouse has to understand that you have to have grace for their grieving and make room for their grieving. And there's opportunities for you to get angry and upset and not knowing what they're dealing with. Because not only, did we lose our sister, but we lost our friend, our cousin. I mean, it was a tough year. And so when you grieve, it's personal. So we don't know how people grieve.
Right. Everyone grieves differently. Yeah. So when I grieve, what I've learned, because I've lost family members before, but like my immediate family, 2 people.
Yeah.
My dad a couple of years ago, and then my sister this year. And what I learned about how I grieve is I'll just kind of retreat or I'll shut down. I don't want to talk about it. And I mean, I may get a little snappy.
A little snappy. Like, I didn't want to say mean, but it was another word that I needed to describe how she was starting to act. And when she's act like that, I'm like,
That was not being mean.
Not mean, but it was a little snappy. I wouldn't describe it as mean, but it was a little snappy. But I know that,
you know, some people just sit in the corner and cry, and some people, I mean, everybody just grieves differently.
Right.
And so when he says grace for grief, I guess that means don't be mad at me for a long time. Explain to the people what that mean. Like, what did you have to do?
I have to give you space. I had to recognize first, like, I had to get to the root of why she was upset or why she was distancing herself. And so after just some questions, I got to the root of it. That I asked her.
You asked me what?
Yeah, so I was asking, like, what were you feeling, or when did you notice you started to pull away?
Mm-hmm.
I asked her, when did she feel like we were being disconnected from each other, and how did, like, what was the feeling? Describe the feeling. And she also asked me, well, what was it on your part? So I had to look, and when I started to pull back, and I started to pull back when she started to pull back, and that ain't good.
Well, I think what I was looking for, without knowing it at the time, but now that I think back on it, it's like, you should know. Like, you should know. This is the first holiday without my sister. You should know that I'm gonna feel this way. And why are you forcing me to be happy? I don't want to be happy. Like, I don't want to do this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of me communicating that to you, it was, I think I just acted it out.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just wanted him to know. Like, I just felt like you should have known. And then what doesn't help me is that when I do that, you do that too.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm pulled back, I feel like it's almost like the tug of war. If I'm pulling, you should be coming towards me. And if you pulling, I should be going towards you. Because if we're going like this, our backs are towards each other, and we're both just pulling in the opposite direction, and we're getting nowhere.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I wanted him to come to me and be like, babe, I can imagine what you're feeling, or I'm sorry, this is this is your first holiday. What can I do to, whatever, instead of
pulling back,
pulling away from me.
Yeah. So I turned my attention to our nieces and nephews, our family that was here. So Tay's daughter and her new grandbaby was here, and I just trying to make sure everybody was comfortable. But I should have been leaning in more to why she was pulling away, because it was several times we was like, where Odessa go? And she was just in the room. It's like, okay.
I gave myself a headache. I did. I was just like that. I think I was just, I don't know. It was just a lot to deal with. And I didn't know. I didn't feel like I had an outlet, because everybody here, we were all grieving, so I didn't want to be like, running this person, they're dealing with their stuff, and then the person that I'm looking for to come for me in that capacity, I'm pushing him away because, because he doesn't want to get rejected or feel rejected.
Yeah.
Who wants that? So you run from it.
So I love what you said, baby. It's like when you feel your spouse start to pull away, you should lean in. That's a good way to show grace for the grief, is when they pull back, you should lean in. Despite your feelings, despite your emotions, because I can get emotional, and when you get emotional, you start coming up with stories in your head. So I just started coming up with stories in the head, like, this ain't gonna work. I ain't even gonna do the Marriage Monday timeout, Tony Dash. Ain't no time out.
He gave up on our whole little show.
I'm like, no. And Odessa has told me that I've become spoiled, and so
rotten.
Not that rotten.
But baby, you're rotten.
A little bit. I am a little spoiled, but I know that for things to change, I must change. I can't point to Odessa for her to change without me having 3 fingers pointing back to me saying, showing me I need to change. So for things to change, you must change. And then also, I think we talked about a little bit that you always should have a purpose for your marriage, and then the purpose for your marriage should trump the problems that you're going through. So I noticed that people had started looking at our videos and they was waiting for the next video. And I know that we have to be open and transparent to how the things that we're going through. So that's why we said, okay, even though we didn't get it on Monday, we're going to get it in and we're going to do a video. So that's our...
We had a good Thanksgiving, though.
It was a good Thanksgiving.
It was a good Thanksgiving. It was
Your dog.
bittersweet. I know he asked the potty. It's okay. But we had a good one, and I'm glad we were able to pull something out of it. Not only just the time and fellowship with our family and friends, but this lesson that we learned, and him understanding the grace that he needed to show me during this time of grief. And I can't say that I won't ever, we got Christmas, we have our birthday coming up. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to learn, and him creating a space where I could be like, yo, this is how I'm feeling. I need you to do this. I don't need you to be pulling away when I'm pulling away. Like somebody got to reel us back in together. So
yeah, so
that's what we wanted to share with you all today. I hope
grace for the grief.
Yeah, I hope you got something from it, and no telling what we're going to talk about next time. I think this channel is just kind of us just sharing. Something happens every day. We learn a new something every day. So we just want to share that with you guys, and hopefully you can get something out of it and learn and grow from it. And we'll see y'all at the next time out.
All right. Grace and peace.